Hello, and welcome to the first installment of Under the Bun, another video game show permeating the oversaturated market of video game bullshit on YouTube, brought to you by two dumbasses. I'm Dennis Juan Snowdame, and this numbnut over here is Aaron Nidstang Pokoi. Think of this like the pilot episode. We're currently working on the first set of episodes, which we hope to air as soon as possible, but we decided we want to strike while the iron's hot and discuss a new game before we jump into whatever we have planned for the future. Let's see what's under those buns. Papa Aaron, teach me about Doom.
Before we get into the new game, let's talk history. The original Doom paved the way for the first-person shooter genre as we know it today. While not the first FPS, it was by far the most popular. The first chapter, originally released as freeware, was installed on more computers than Windows was at the time of release. With minimal story and emphasis on gameplay, Doom had the world by its sweaty balls. And for good reason. Doom was a game about fast-paced action, blowing your way through hordes of demons in tight corridors with big fucking guns, a heavy metal soundtrack announcing every testosterone-soaked kill. Hell was heaven in the 90s, but that wasn't all. id Software, the creators of Doom, were very open about letting people mod the game, giving all the assets and code out open source, giving way to a very dedicated modding community that is still creating new material for the original Doom games to this day. Two such mods include the Plutonia Experiment and TNT Evolution, which were eventually repackaged and sold as official content as Final Doom, seen in the gameplay footage here. Doom was ported to a plethora of home consoles as well. From the PS1 to the SNES, everyone had a way to get in on the action. Some people have even been able to get Doom to run on calculators, in other games, and even in chainsaws. With the success of Doom and Doom 2, Midway Games developed Doom 64. Not just a port of the original, Doom 64 was its own game. It maintained the fast-paced action of the original, but traded in the heavy metal soundtrack for one of ambience and forebodance. The new 64 generation allowed Midway to utilize in-game lighting to create creepy atmosphere and tension. In 2004, building off the horror aesthetic that Doom 64 helped create, id partnered with Activision to release Doom 3. Actually more of a reboot than a sequel, Doom 3 is considered by many to be the black sheep of the Doom family. It's slow, it's dark, the action is a lot more methodical, simple gameplay mechanics like reloading and the need to use a flashlight changed the entire feel of what Doom was. Demon designs and models were changed, and a fleshed out story-driven campaign was created, something that other Doom games mostly skipped in the past. Some people loved it, some people hated it. Personally, I think it's a decent game, but it's by far the worst of the Doom games, and plays more like a Halo meets Dead Space kind of thing to me. And yes, I'm aware that Doom came out before both of those franchises, although Halo was created before Doom 3. In 2012, 8 years after the release of Doom 3, Bethesda re-released Doom 3 as Doom 3 BFG Edition. The BFG Edition came with the Doom 3 expansion Resurrection of Evil, as well as a bonus set of levels, the two original Doom games, an extra campaign for the original Doom called Thy Flesh Consumed, and some general fixes to Doom 3's gameplay, such as the ability to use a flashlight and a gun at the same time. Bethesda maintained the Doom rights and is back once again with id, rebooting the series for the next generation. Not including the re-release, it's been 12 years since the release of the last Doom. That's about the same amount of time it took Duke Nukem Forever to release. But does Doom fare better? To kick things off, Dennis is going to give his opinions on the new game. He's new to the Doom franchise, only playing the originals a few times, so his opinion is one of a fresh person.
Wow, thanks for the history lesson, Aaron. As a longtime gamer, I've always known about the original Doom game from 1993, and I always knew about the big impact it had on the gaming industry back then. The game set the tone for the rest of FPS games to come, and if you look at games like Halo, Bioshock, and even Dead Space, you can see a clear influence. So when I heard that Bethesda, my favorite gaming company, was making a new addition to the series, I knew I had to check it out. And boy oh boy, I was not disappointed. Right from the get-go, the game puts you right into the action. I'm not even kidding you. Within 30 seconds of starting up the game, you'll be fighting demons. I played on PC and on maxed out settings, and the game looks great. There are lots of nice textures in the guns, the environment, and the gore. The gore, in true Doom fashion, is completely over the top. Blood will cover the walls and the floor when blowing away a demon with a super shotgun or throwing a frag grenade at them. One area of the game that I do feel is lacking, however, is the story. Granted, when you think of great stories in games, Doom isn't necessarily the first game that pops into anyone's head, but it's still important to note. Doom isn't something that you want to play for the story, but rather the experience. Fighting your way through hell would be super satisfying as you fight through hordes of demons with your trusty arsenal of guns. The glory kill mechanic is something that I'm a big fan of as well. When enemies are low on health, they will begin to glow blue and yellow. This can be turned off in the settings if you want them not to glow, like Aaron did. And when you melee them, you will get a fatality-like killing move. From kneeing them in the face and making their head explode, to ripping out one of the demon's teeth and stabbing them in their own eye with it. These are glory kills that are completely over the top and satisfying to make the final blow to your enemy. With all of the over-top action and the head-banging metal soundtrack backing the game, there isn't too much not to like about the game, honestly. Overall, I feel that this is a solid addition to the Doom franchise, and I'm looking forward to see what Bethesda has in store for it in the future years. If you're a fan of the game Killing Floor, which is completely over the top, backed by an awesome metal soundtrack just like this game, then this is a game that you'll want to check out.
As for me, I didn't grow up with Doom. I was too young when the game came out, but I have been playing Doom for a couple of years now, and the games have quickly become some of my favorites of all time, and are my favorite games in the FPS genre. To be completely honest, I love the new Doom. They did a lot right. Dennis touched on a lot of it. First off is the quick select. You can hold all 10 guns at once throughout the game, ranging from the pistol to the BFG. You are not limited to 2 weapons like how most FPS are these days. On console, you have to use a weapon wheel, which slows down the action, but on PC you can assign each gun to a hotkey, which quickly changes through your guns, keeping up the pace, just like in the old games. All the guns feel great, the fast pace of the Doom games are here, action starting right at the beginning and not slowing down until you see those final credits roll. The level design is top-notch as well. Lots of secret collectibles to find and hidden areas to explore. The demon design is great as well. They kept the Hell Knight design from Doom 3. If you remember in the original games, the Hell Knight were basically reskins of the Baron that were slightly weaker. But the rest of the demons resemble their original sprites. I especially like the Cacodemon because you can see tiny limbs drooping down from its enormous head, which you can blow off and make it look just like they did in the original games. The new weapons are a blast to use. I use the Gauss Cannon a lot. Some of the new demons are pretty cool as well, most notably the Summoner, which summons in new demons to the field as well as sends a wave attack out. Some demons did not return, such as the Archvile and the Pain Elemental, which didn't bother me one bit, because I hated those bastards. There are a plethora of upgrades you can make to guns and armor which add variety to the gameplay. I actually didn't upgrade anything myself. I played through the whole game with only using the Argent Core upgrades and didn't use any of the gun or armor upgrades, so it definitely is possible to play the game as vanilla as you can. Glory kills are awesome, and I never got tired of seeing them, though I can see how some people could. And they're completely optional and you can play the game without utilizing them, though the health drops that you get for using them come in handy. Like Dennis said, you can turn off the visible prompt for them, as well as change a lot of the settings in the game. I changed a lot to make the game look as close to classic Doom as possible. One of my favorite things is you can unlock classic maps. By finding classic map arenas in the campaign, you can go back and play through those same classic levels in their entirety. Now, I played the game on Ultra Violence, and it was pretty difficult. You need to unlock the harder Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare difficulties. I've tried the Ultra Nightmare a little bit, and I've started the Nightmare since beating it on Ultra Violence, and they are really hard, especially Ultra Nightmare. The campaign took me about 15 hours to complete. I didn't get every Seeker collectible, though. Making some comparisons to the original, the demon designs. Like I said, the designs were changed slightly, but they're very close to how they were in the original. The Hell Knight is the only one that looks the most different, but that was because they're using the same design from Doom 3. The arena-style combat differs from the first game as well. This new Doom features a lot more elevated platforming, which you have to use double jumps and boost pads to get to elevated platforming. Whereas in the other ones, you were kind of constricted to these tight hallways into large rooms fighting hordes of enemies. This game has more of a feel where you walk into a room and you're cut off from the rest of the map to do an arena-style combat section before moving on. This changes the way levels feel, as in the original Dooms, each level felt interconnected within itself, whereas this new Doom feels like each room is sectioned off into a greater campaign. Despite the overall difference in feel between the two games, it's obviously apparent that the new Doom took a lot of inspiration from the original. Here's an example of one such area. You can obviously tell that this room is very inspired by map 7 of Doom 2. Here's video of comparison. There are some gun differences as well. The pistol has infinite ammo, which is different from the original game. The plasma rifle and the BFG do not share ammo. There's also an additional machine gun that shares ammo with the Gatling gun from the original games, and the combat shotgun and super shotgun still share ammo. Despite all the good and how much I loved the game, it did suffer from some bad as well. The multiplayer is hit or miss for some people. It's a mixture of modern multiplayer shooters and classic arena shooters. People wanted just a classic arena multiplayer, and that is not what it is. It's still fun, but it's not that. There are loadouts for one thing, which is people's biggest gripe, but at the same time there's health pickups and armor pickups and some random weapon and power-up pickups as well, bringing the two styles together. My two biggest gripes, however, is that it needs better matchmaking. I don't play multiplayer games that often. I think they're fun, but I have a lot of games to play, and so I don't spend a lot of time playing competitively. And as such, I'm not the best when just jumping into a match. Yet the matchmaking system that they have is not based on level or experience. That means that level 1 beginners will be playing against very high-level people who've been dumping hours into the multiplayer, and they're going to get stomped. And getting stomped all the time isn't fun. Which I know, we're supposed to get good, but fuck you, it's not fun. Also, all of the game modes are team only. There's no free-for-all type game modes, which is a bit of a letdown, especially given the extremely detailed and content-filled character customization for the multiplayer. Why even bother messing with your character's color if you're always going to be blue or white in the match? Additionally, some guns and demons are only accessible in the multiplayer. For example, the Vortex Rifle, Static Cannon, Lightning Gun, and Hellshot are guns that are only found in the multiplayer and never seen in the campaign. The Prowler is a new demon that's also only seen in the multiplayer. Kind of a stealth stalker type, makes no appearance in the single player. Another issue I have is the snap map. While the snap map is definitely interesting and I can see some great modes coming out, it doesn't replace modding, which Bethesda has come out and said that there won't be any official modding promoted for the new Doom, which is a very weird stance to take considering how the old Doom games were built on modding. Like I said, the whole game was open source, and in fact the first part of it was given out for free. And so a lot of people were part of the modding community, and games are still being made for it to this day. Coincidentally enough, though, I feel like this new Doom took a lot of inspiration from the Brutal Doom mod. So things such as glory kills and the advanced gore levels and multiple new guns and grenades that were seen in Brutal Doom make their appearance in the new Doom. So it's very strange that they have decided not to include actual modding for it. The story is also a little weak and weird, as Dennis touched on. But it's Doom, so I don't really care. The story in the original Doom was that you were a space marine banished to Mars after striking out against your commanding officer for refusing to gun down civilians. When you arrive at Mars, you see that the Union Aerospace Corporation, a weapons technology company, has been experimenting with interdimensional travel, and that things have gone wrong, and demons from hell have been pouring into Mars, killing everybody. A small squad of Marines go into fight only to be slaughtered by the Horde. Doom Guy is the last remaining Marine, and his sole goal is to kill Demon Ass. Doom 3 expanded on the story, with the inclusion of the conspiracy surrounding the UAC and their scientists, painting them up to be much more involved with Hell and kind of a greedy and shifty company, allowing the demons to come to the space station purposefully. Kind of a company seeking power. The new Doom starts with Doom Guy chained to a coffin. He breaks free and kills some zombies, immediately throwing you into the action. It is revealed that the UAC has been tapping into Hell to harvest Argent energy to solve mankind's energy crisis. A few members of the UAC become power-hungry and obsessed with Hell, worshipping the demons and allowing them in. 2 robot guardians assist Doom Guy as he traverses Mars and Hell to stop the onslaught. What got me, though, is that Doom Guy is apparently some Templar space marine from Demon Legend who is destined to wipe out the demon race, but that leaves a lot of questions unanswered. Why was he in a coffin at the beginning? How old is Doom Guy? Why was he released? Why was he prophesized? The game also ends on a cliffhanger, setting the game up for a sequel. All in all, I love the new Doom. It's brutal, it's fast, it's fun, and I highly recommend it. Honestly, it's one of the best FPS I've played since BioShock, and it's one of my favorite Bethesda games out at the moment. definitely a Game of the Year contender for me. Bethesda is also responsible for bringing back the Wolfenstein franchise with New Order, and have been discussing bringing back Quake now as well. So keep your eyes open for that. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the episode. It's probably going to be a little different in the future. We'll probably be playing more games together instead of separate, which will allow us to make more commentary, but we wanted to get this Doom review out because the game came out a couple weeks ago, and we wanted to try and get it out as quick to release as we could. So we hope you stick around and check out some of the other games we have dropping in the future with videos. We are Under the Bun. Stay toasty, you sick bastards.
I just wanted to give you a list of the next couple of games that we will be doing for Under the Bun. So upcoming, we have Outlast 2 later this year, if it comes out, hopefully. Phantasmagoria, that's Aaron's pick. I don't know what the hell that is. Santorium, I don't know what the hell that is either. Mischief Makers, Space Station Silicon Valley, and Television. One day we're going to go to GameStop or any other used game shop and pick a random ass game. Come home and play it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games, iNinja, and Harvester. Hopefully it all turns out well. I doubt it though. Thanks.